Room Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lawpon. You're watching Mississippi Live Weather at 5 on this Friday evening. It's been a long week for a lot of folks, and I know still many of you still don't have power at this time or have charged up at some other place today. I strongly encourage you to consider friends, family, warming shelters, as extreme cold is on the way forth tonight. That has been colder than most of what we have experienced most of this week. Dangerous cold tonight and tomorrow night. Both mornings, tomorrow morning and Sunday morning, we're going to be in the teens and low teens, and in some cases single digits. So very dangerous cold is ahead. Plan accordingly. We'll talk a little bit more about that here in a moment. The weekend will stay dry, so it's cold, but we do not have a repeat of that wintry precipitation. Better chances for rainfall next week, but it is just that. It is rainfall. But here is the headline. As we look overnight there, as you can see, temperatures dropping back into the teens. We're 19 by 12 o'clock in the morning, and then into the mid-teens by early tomorrow. Dangerously cold weather, unfortunately, moving into the area, and that's a concern for all involved, including myself, local emergency managers, and other officials. I do want to bring in the emergency manager from Yalobusha County here. Appreciate Stuart Spence for joining us here on Mississippi Live Weather at 5. I know your connection's a little spotty, so if worse comes to worse, I'll just give you a call here in a minute. But Stuart, how are things looking as of Friday evening?
It's getting a little better. We got majority of the roads are in the county, about every one of them for passing. We do have some roads, of course, we get low line power lines that crews hadn't got to. As far as driving on cars, just about every road in the county is passable, at least by one lane.
Man, that sounds like, again, it is a battle there. Have you gotten to, I think, all folks that are still kind of, in some cases, in some of these counties, we're just now seeing folks that have been trapped for a few days that we're able to get to. Have you guys reached out to most corners of Yalobusha County at this point?
Yes, between the local law enforcement and EMS and county crews, we have tried to get a hold of everybody we could. We got supplies coming in slowly to help replenish and get out to the community. People who have not been able to get out of the houses for duration this time. We got a lot of people in the county in the rural areas that are surviving right now with heat. They can't get out, get moved. We're working on getting meals and blankets, possibly some heat delivered to the ones that can't get this time.
Okay, Stuart, give me 2 seconds. I'm going to call you. Go in and answer this. We'll pick it up on the audio there because it's just patchy enough, and I think you have important enough information that I'm gonna ditch the technology for a moment. Hey, you there, okay, Stuart?
Yeah.
Let's try that. Okay. So go ahead on what you were just saying a second ago there about the heat and the blankets, which I mean obviously continues to be the main concern. The folks without heat.
Yeah, we got majority of people, since we're a rural county, they're still trapped in their houses, can't get out of the driveway. So we're working on that, trying to get those driveways clear. We've slowly got supplies coming in, like meals, heat, blankets, and stuff of that nature. So as soon as we're getting them in, we are putting them in cars and we're transporting them to the residents themselves who cannot get out. Just for the people that know in the county, we are working on this. And as soon as we get supplies in, we are getting them out as quick as possible.
So do you have folks that are like, I mean, so there are folks that can't get in and out, right? But if somebody feels like their life is in danger related to the cold tonight, do they call 911? Do you have a way to, like, if they need help being transported? I know the roads probably aren't perfect there still, especially in the back roads of Yalobusha County.
Yes, if they have problems, yes, they can call 911 or they can call our dispatch at 662-473-2722. We will have either EMS come get them, or we have law enforcement, or somebody can come get them. And we have the multi-purpose building in the Coffeyville open up as a shelter, so we are available to get folks in. We have no problem going to pick people up and bring them to shelter as quick as we can. With volunteers helping us pick up people in the county. Okay,
we're talking to Stuart Spence, the emergency manager there in Yalobusha County. And Stuart, I mean, obviously there's going to be some people out there that are frustrated. You're on the front lines and seeing just how hard all of these electrical workers and everybody's working. I mean, it seems like you guys are one of the harder hit counties around. Is that a fair statement?
That would be a fair statement, yes.
So, I mean, for folks that are like, okay, this has almost been a week, is it reasonable to say we could be talking about well over another week for some spots?
Yes, we're looking at the county. I've heard estimates up to possibly 3 weeks for everybody in the county to get power.
Man, from this point in time or for the time of loss?
No, from this point in time.
So 3 weeks potentially for some portions of your county. I mean,
Yes.
And it's just, it's an expansive county. It's got a lot of rural portions. So, I mean, that's unfortunate, but clearly some concern. So you've had this shelter set up. How many people are in that shelter, have sheltered this week there?
Actually, we have just opened this shelter up within probably the last hour.
Okay.
Now, we have had warming centers in Water Valley and warming centers here. We probably, between the both, we probably have the average of 50 people a day in those warming centers. But like I said, the vast majority of people in the rural county just cannot get out of their driveways to get down to us.
Yeah. So if those folks feel like, that it might just get too cold, and I mean, with low teens out there tonight, that's a possibility. Again, what is the number? Is the best bet to call 911, for example, and then have them route it to where it needs to go, just so it's simple enough we can get the word out? I mean, I can try to type in the phone number here for folks, if you prefer.
They can try 911, or if nothing else, they can get the number of 662-473-2722, and that number goes directly to dispatch.
Okay. So in either way, you have the ability to move them if necessary, but I think we'd both agree sooner as opposed to later on that. We don't need to be trying to do this at 2:00 in the morning. If someone's, I mean, if it's that point and that's what it is, it's what it is, but to preventively do that earlier would probably be better.
Yes. And just let everybody know that, if we get a vast people calling in, we will get to you. It's going to take time, but we will get to you as quick as we can.
Okay. Stuart Spence, the emergency manager there in Yalobusha County. Anything else you want to add?
No, so that's about it.
Okay. Hey, y'all keep plugging away like I know you have all week long. Hopefully you get some rest, and God bless y'all and all the linemen out there for all the hard work you're putting in.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. That's Stuart Spence there in Yalobusha County. Join us on Mississippi Live, an update out there. As you heard Stuart mention a minute ago, new shelter you can see below me here opened at the Coffeyville Multi-Purpose Building. That just opened within the last couple of hours. They can transport you there if you are stuck, but you need to plan that it's going to be a couple of hours, potentially longer, before they can get to you. So if necessary, you heard the dispatch number, and if you feel like your life is in danger, whether it's from this or any other time, call 911. And they can. It's not going to be instantaneous. It's not going to be as fast as usual. But we have to plan ahead in order to make sure everybody gets to where they need to go. Okay, I'm going to be joined now with Bo Moore. Bo is the emergency manager. Works with the emergency management there in Lafayette County. Bo, thank you so much. You talked with us this last weekend related to all this very active weather. Lafayette County obviously very hard hit. How are things progressing as of Friday evening?
Well, we saw some improvements from the city of Oxford on the water supply that they send out to the county. So that was a great thing today. And for the residents of the city of Oxford, our water associations, from every check that we've done with them, seem to be improving on getting their leaks that they maybe have fixed. Just remind residents, whether they're your water association or if you get your water from the city of Oxford, if you ever had a temporary disruption in the water service, I would just boil that water, even if official boil ban hasn't been, or boil notice hasn't been issued yet. Just take an extra precaution on that if you're going to drink it. But so our water situation is in a much better place as of today. Power for the city of Oxford has increased. They're doing well there. But due to the expansiveness that you saw this storm hit every square mile of our county, we're going to have residents in the county that are going to be without power for a while. We anticipate some of our more rural areas in the southern part of the county and the northwest part of the county that are in the National Forest area could potentially see an outage for 2 more weeks, possibly till we get a full power restoration. complete by Northeast. They're bringing in more additional crews that I know started today. So they're doing everything they can to get this up and going. It's just, unfortunately, this hit every square mile of our county, and so there is drastic impact everywhere, and there's just so much time in the day and individuals that can go out there and fix it. So it's just going to be a slow process.
Absolutely. So for folks that you've had a number of shelters set up, and maybe for whatever reason or other, they're just now kind of catching up on this. Where are those shelters tonight, and are you encouraging folks to go to those?
Yeah, we encourage anyone that doesn't feel like they have the adequate needs to stay warm tonight and through this weekend, or at any point while they're without power, to get to the shelter sooner than later. Our both locations. We have a location at the Lower Elementary School at 70 FD Buddy East Parkway, and then the Oxford Conference Center is a shelter as well. So those 2 points, we will do everything we can to help you get to that shelter. If you don't feel safe being out on the roads, the sheriff's office dispatch number is 662-234-8789, and they will help get you to the appropriate place. We have meals there. We have cots for everyone currently, and we believe, enough to meet demand. And blankets, and we'll get you warm. We'll get you something to eat. We'll get you something to drink, and hopefully a better night for you. So, yes, it's going to be extremely cold, Matt, as you well know, tonight. And then tomorrow we're not going to get really warm at all, and we'll have another cold night Saturday night. So if you don't feel comfortable with your heating ability, please, let's get to one of our shelter locations, and we will get you taken care of.
Unfortunately, we're now getting to the point where it's not just like cold exposure, but we're also having scenarios where carbon monoxide has caused fatalities in the northern part of the state. Have you guys had any reports of injuries related to that at this point here, close calls in the Lafayette County area?
So we haven't had any injuries, as far as I'm aware, have been reported to me about carbon monoxide specifically. We did tragically the other day have a individual that was refueling their generator slip on the ice and hit their head, and they ultimately passed away at the Med in Memphis Thursday morning early. So that's the only fatality that we have in our county. Tragically, that we have to report, and our prayers and thoughts are with that family.
Okay. Anything else you want to tell folks at home while we have the chance here? I mean, the thing that I just note, it's been a significant improvement from Northeast Electric Power Association. The highest number I saw was about 28,000, and it might have gone higher than that. They're down to about 15, and that's still a ton of people, but it's almost cut in half.
Yeah, it's gone down quite a bit. The main transmission lines have to get fixed first, and so they've been able to make a lot of progress on that. And so hopefully that they'll be able to transition to more of the inner workings throughout the county. I use the example a lot about the heart. You got to get the heart fixed before you can work on anything else in the body. And so that's kind of what the main transmission lines are. So more and more of those are getting resolved. More people will get on power and get bigger chunks. But in rural areas where it's like mature timber, we've seen a lot of trees that have come down and then snapped poles in that area. So that makes a very slow process when they're having to put in a new pole plus fix the power line. So we just ask people to continue to be patient. If you don't think that you have adequate supplies, we're continuing with the National Guard to put out supplies as we have them available to people. And ultimately, if you don't feel that you're adequately supplied at your home with power or food, come to our shelter. We have both of those for you, and somewhere to sleep.
Okay, one more time. Those shelters are located where?
At the Lafayette County Lower Elementary, 70 FD Buddy East Parkway, and the Oxford Conference Center. I don't have that address in front of me right now, so I apologize. But those two locations are our shelters for Lafayette County and City of Oxford residents.
Okay, I appreciate that. Bo Moore, the Lafayette County Public Information Officer there. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, prayers with y'all. Hopefully things continue to progress, but certainly it's been a rough time, and hopefully it doesn't turn into a rough weekend there. Appreciate it, Bo.
Thank you, Matt.
Okay, as we bring things back in here to the Room Droom Weather Center, nice to at least have some power restoration on a few of the cameras so we can see what's on the ground. Again, still some white stuff there in the Oxford area on the ground. We'll have more as Mississippi Live Weather continues here from the Room Droom Weather Center, looking at just how cold your temperatures will get for tonight here in 60 seconds.
When you've been injured, don't settle for a lawyer who doesn't even know where you live. Call Langston and Lott. Local lawyers, personal service, real results.
At First Choice Bank, we know you can't always make it before the bank closes. With our integrated teller, you can talk to a live person as late as 7 p.m. on weekdays and noon on Saturdays. It's not just an ATM, it's an ITM. First Choice Bank, your choice for banking.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's Mississippi's Chief Meteorologist, Matt Lovehon.
We're trying to monitor our Facebook chat here, where we've had a number of questions coming in over the course of the last little while here. You're watching Mississippi Live Weather. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lopon. One of the questions coming in about Yalobusha County, and in particular Coffeyville, as we talked to the emergency manager out there just a moment ago. A new shelter has been set up at the multi-purpose building in Coffeyville that just within the last couple of hours. If you feel as though you are going to have problems tonight, then if you call 911, they can get you directed to somebody that can get you to that warming shelter, because temperatures are going to go from this to much, much colder in a hurry, unfortunately, as we expect, again, they'll probably be down into the teens for morning lows tomorrow morning. On the average, we'll say 14 for that low temperature, but some spots are going to be down possibly single digits near the Tennessee state line. Again, the people that have been most affected all week long are most likely to be affected once again here for this round of cold temperatures. As you can see, 27 all we manage by the afternoon. So it will not be a warm day. Wind chills even in the afternoon are probably in the teens. Futurecast continues to show north winds, cold air behind our most recent storm system that has kind of kicked on through the area. Wider shot again shows that kind of quick moving front, a few flakes back to the east. That is about it. I mentioned the flakes. It's not inconceivable that we could have one or two that fly from the sky tonight. But before we get too terribly worried about that, this is not meaningful. This would be a couple picturesque flakes, maybe a picture that we'd want to delete as opposed to deal with. More flakes with this, though, as you can see back out there toward North Georgia and northeastern Alabama. So low temperatures down to 13 in Senatobia. We're 12 in Oxford, coming in 13 in New Albany, 15 in Tupelo and Amory, 16 in Columbus. And this is cold enough that it's colder in many cases than we got earlier this week when we were at our coldest. So right now, at this moment, is the time to make an evaluation, not just if you're in Yalobusha County, but Lafayette County, Tippah County, Alcorn County, Union County, Prentiss County, Tishomingo County. Is this too cold for you? Do you not have power? If you check both of those boxes, we need to be getting someplace warmer, because it's going to be dangerously cold throughout tomorrow and into the first part of Sunday as well. So warming shelters are there. Please take advantage of those. If you're worried that you're in danger, call 911. But don't expect immediate arrival. It will take them some time, but they are trying to transport folks as they can. As fast as they can. Wind chills below zero out here, Tunica, back toward around Holly Springs. We show Oxford as well, below zero wind chills for early morning on your Saturday. I mean, best case scenario, it might feel like it's 5. It will feel really bitterly cold, and that continues through the day. Wind chills might improve to the high single digits or maybe low teens by midday. But I expect still with strong enough north winds, we're going to keep it feeling very chilly even into the afternoon, and then another very cold night on the way for your Saturday night. So no precipitation out there. I know from time to time there have been these rumors saying there's another round coming. There is not, but the cold is, I guess, the other factor that the danger still remains significant with. So looking at normal temperatures, typically should be 55. Instead, we're 26 in New Albany for a high tomorrow, 28 Water Valley coming in, around 30 for Starkville, 29 Grenada, 29 degrees in Bruce. Again, all those counties I mentioned, plus more, you know this. If you don't have power, and we're down to about 79,000 power outages, I think, in the state is what Governor Tate Reeves said at his press conference earlier on. But we need to be getting to a place that is warmer because, again, we don't hit freezing for tomorrow, and we likely continue to be very, very chilly for early morning on your Sunday as well. So still have those northerly and northwesterly winds bringing in much more of that colder air, where wind chills will still be probably in the teens, if not colder, for early Sunday morning. But the cloud cover, very little insulation from that as a very chilly start to your Sunday. So low temperatures, we reach our coldest point Sunday morning, and it's not that much colder than tomorrow morning will be. So the fact that we're talking over 24 hours, over 36 hours with temperatures below the freezing point and with lows that'll be teens or maybe single digits, this is dangerous cold. We've already lost 16 lives related to this winter storm in a variety of different fashions. And unfortunately, the governor confirming during his press conference that the 16th was an infant, a 6-month-old from Union County. So obviously, our prayers are with everyone who's lost somebody in this winter storm and the aftermath from it. Let's just not make it to where you or I is one of those. And I'm lucky enough that I have heat and I do have electricity at my house. But if you do not have that at yours, or you know somebody who doesn't, who's been struggling through all week, this could be killer cold. So have the tough conversation with them. And I know sometimes that's going to be in talking to some friends, you know, possibly a parent or a grandparent who's just very stubborn. They do this on their own. This could be too cold. So let's have that conversation with them so we don't have any additional fatalities because of this cold blast. And again, as you can see here, single digit wind chill temperatures kind of for locations in the eastern part of the area, teens for others. I mean, it is going to still be very, very cold early Sunday. And as we go into Sunday through the day, we hopefully see just a little bit more sunshine. That should help temperatures somewhat. It's not inconceivable that what we see here could be, again, some of those patches of frozen fog. Not an impossibility there for early morning Sunday, probably more the exception to the rule. But either way, as you can see, we'll start to see a little bit more of a southerly wind. That starts a warming process that does continue into next week. Yeah, I did see a little bit of blue on there. We're not concerned by that. Again, we're just cold enough that any kind of little sprinkle is going to coat in like that. And then temperatures above the freezing point, but not by much for your Sunday in the afternoon. 34 Clarksdale, Cleveland, coming about 37 degrees there in Greenville and Greenwood, 38 Grenada, and 37 for Amory, 39 for Columbus. 7-day forecast. Again, we typically should be somewhere in the neighborhood of 55. We'll continue way below normal even in the next week. We do have one day, as you can see there, we get close on Tuesday at 54. So at least there's that hope. It comes with rain, and yes, it will be just rainfall with that. And temperatures, again, 49 Monday, 54 for Tuesday, but the next day or so is when things are going to be the most dangerous, the coldest, and have the most issues for most of us. I'll leave the 7-day up as I kind of bring up the chat here. We're monitoring, of course, behind the scenes. Shelters have been established in many counties around the region. I mean, I see that, someone mentioning they've been out for 5 days now. Talking to the Allabusha County emergency manager, one of the things he mentioned is that some folks will be without power, not just another week, but potentially 3 more weeks, bringing the total in some cases to 4 weeks without power because of just how hard that county has been hit. We're going to try to talk to the folks in Tishomingo County, Madison, asking about that in the chat over there. We're going to try to talk to them during our 6 o'clock broadcast. We also hope to talk to Public Service Commissioner Chris Brown about restoration efforts, both on the waterfront as well as with water systems, as well as with electrical systems, and hopefully continue to get you the latest information on that here. I appreciate you guys, for your support here in the comments as well. But again, unfortunately, this is going to be dangerously cold both Saturday and Sunday morning with teens. That is about as cold as we've been for this entire event making it certainly a dangerous and scary situation. Our next live broadcast will be coming up during our 6 o'clock hour. At 6 o'clock, again, we mentioned we'll try to talk to some of those emergency managers, hoping to get on the phone with the folks there and Tishomingo County on the latest on what's kind of going on with this. But certainly be smart, be safe. The weather app, of course, has temperatures, alerts, and everything you need related to that. But it takes you making the right choice. And so get to that warming shelter, please. If you've been cold all week, this is going to be colder. So keep that in mind. We'll see you at 6.
At First Choice Bank, we know you can't always make it before the bank closes. With our integrated teller, you can talk to a live person as late as 7 p.m. on weekdays and noon on Saturdays. It's not just an ATM, it's an ITM. First Choice Bank, your choice for banking.
Even though Gabe grew up in Alabama, Mississippi has now become his home and his family. And one thing about Gabe is he keeps his family safe.
From the Room to Room Weather Center, here's Mississippi's Chief Meteorologist, Matt Lobhon.
Welcome here to Mississippi Live Weather. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lopp. On hour-by-hour forecast through tonight has temperatures dropping rapidly as a cold front has moved through. Winds out of the north will continue spread in much, much colder temperatures, and we expect that we will be down into the teens, if not single digits for lows by the first part of Saturday morning. We've been tracking this second batch of very dangerous cold weather all week long here in the Room to Room Weather Center. 20 by 11 and temperatures into, again, the teens by early morning. Looking at Futurecast, again, mostly dry conditions, even cold enough to squeeze out perhaps a rogue flake out there closer to Russellville and Florence later on this evening. If you see one of those, this is not going to be disruptive. It's just more picturesque in the kind of picture that we don't necessarily want to see. But a little bit of cloud cover out there overnight, but mostly it's those cold northerly winds and the dangerous colder that they bring that remain the overall weather headline here. So down to 12 there in Water Valley and Oxford, 13 Senatobia, South Haven, 12 in Holly Springs. Most location into the teens, and 34 where we typically should be. Wind chill temperatures even colder than that, below zero for many spots. And considering just so many Mississippians still don't have power, it's one of the many reasons why now is the time we need to be getting to one of those warming shelters if we don't think our location is going to keep us warm enough for tonight. The issue is we are cold once again for your Saturday as well. After being 15 initially, we'll be 23 at noon and mid-20s out there. That's all we really manage for highs on your Saturday, so not above freezing, and back down to 13, even colder by early Sunday morning. So this is another one of those more than 24-hour stretches below freezing that I think so many folks have obviously not enjoyed and been so dangerous as we've gone throughout this week. 40s are back by Monday. We do have some rain chances into next week, and we do get milder by then, with our next rain chance being just that, a rain chance. Of course, our live shows 5, 6, and 10 p.m. each evening, still checking in with local authorities as to the recovery efforts from this major ice storm. We'll have the latest updates here in the Room to Room Weather Center. Follow us on Facebook as well for that, and keep it here for the latest.
I have been going to Two Place Smiles my whole life. When I was a kid, I was unhappy about some uneven coloring on my teeth after getting my braces off, which at the time there really wasn't a fix. I was recently made aware of a solution that would totally fix it, which is exactly what we did. They not only heard my concerns, but they never stopped looking to solve my problem, and that's why I love Two Place Smiles.